Good afternoon, and welcome to episode 5 of Gigabits and Gigahertz, a blog about telecom, the telecom industry, fixed wireless, fiber, broadband, and everything else. And I'm pretty happy here to be joined by my friend and colleague, Mehmet Ackin. Mehmet, how you doing? Good afternoon.
Hey Gino, how are you?
I'm doing pretty well, thank you. How's California?
California is really hot today. Actually, it's one of the hottest days. I'm glad that whoever invented AC, you're just surviving. How is Puerto Rico?
Puerto Rico's pretty well. A little bit hot too. We're having a kind of a heat season. A couple of days have been extremely hot, but family's well. Can't complain about that, and everything at least is under control within the whole pandemic situation. So
I must say I don't miss the heat of Puerto Rico. Living there five and a half years, and one of the things that I did not miss is the humidity and the heat for sure.
But you surely miss the beaches.
I do. Rincon, I miss.
Oh, Rincon, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mehmet, I'm pretty happy to have you here as my 5th guest. Thank you for accepting the invitation. And I would like to start off with your background. So the people that are seeing the vlog now or in the future know who you are and where you come from, how you are yourself involved in the telecom industry.
Yeah. So, well, thanks again for inviting me. I'm flattered. I'm born in Turkey. Went to like a high school there. And right after high school, I went into a very good technical college. And one day walking around, I saw on a board an opportunity where I could go internationally and then just do as an exchange student 1 semester and learn Spanish. Of course, that was, Puerto Rico.
Okay.
So, and I was like, well, that would be interesting. I've never been out of the country, so I might as well just, pick Puerto Rico as the first place that I'm going. So anyway, I came to Puerto Rico for actually just 6 months, but I just fall in love with the country. I keep telling everyone around my, close circle of friends, I'm going to retire somewhere in Caribbean, most likely in Puerto Rico.
Nice.
So just study. I'm a nerd. I used to do, IRC servers. I'm pretty sure you know those too. I run servers around the world, both dedicated machines, and kind of really liked the networking piece of everything. Networking is important with everything, whether you're speaking, right, whether you're just just connecting people. Even human networking is important. But I like the technical networking very much. So I told myself, okay, how can I grow into this? And Puerto Rico provided me an incredible opportunity, to be honest, an opportunity which I couldn't get in Turkey, because in Turkey, to get into school that you want, the section you want, it's complicated. You can't just say, hey, I want to be a, computer engineer and be one. No, you have to, get in an exam, and if you get enough points, then you can get in that space. But Puerto Rico was open arms. This is very good. This was a good opportunity for me. I lived in several cities around Puerto Rico, San Germán and Mayagüez, Bayamón, Carolina, all around.
All over the place.
So Ponce as well, studied, I finished the school in 2.5 years because I was so desperate to finish the school and start working. And during that time, I worked in telecom as well. Found one of the internet exchanges, as you are one of the co-founders of it now, that we just had to refine it, Right. But, back then when there was a hurricane, I think it was 2006 or 2005, a big hurricane hit.
Okay.
That's actually when I decided I really want to be in telecom, because what happened is that hurricane shuts down all the power.
Right.
I noticed that PR domain is not reachable, and I just start searching this Dr. Oscar Moreno, rest in peace. He's a great guy. He gave me a lot of opportunities. Basically, I found him. I found his house, and I went there. I said, why is this domain down? There should be any cast. You can do this. You can do that. He's like, I know, but the master server is down. So long story short, we bring it up, and then he offered me a job, and that is my very first job. Before that, I used to do radio shows and TV shows in Turkey. Before moving to Puerto Rico, I was actually DJ, and I really enjoy talking, and I really enjoy spinning some cool music. Anyway, long story short, I got into telco. I worked for .PR, CCTLD. We did a lot of engagement in Puerto Rico, around Puerto Rico, teaching, giving classes. then ICANN, the governing body that
Yep.
manages the top level domain and numbers and names,
Right.
basically policy part of internet. They invited me, to work for them in LA. Just I moved to LA. After LA, spending 7 years signing the root zone with DNSSEC, operating a root server, a lot of experience, a lot of volunteer work. I traveled around the world for them, and after that, Microsoft basically just told me, hey, you want to move in Seattle and you want to help us launch this Azure networking DNS product. It was very interesting. It was the biggest mistake I have made. It's a strong statement.
Okay.
My biggest mistake, because I had that offer for 4 years, and I said for 4 years I said no.
You said no. Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then one day, October 27 or October 31st, I don't remember the day, but like I had the offer literally waiting, and they had a major outage. Like the whole system was down. I sent a message to someone, a big executive there.
Right.
That's a good friend of mine. I said, look, I will go work for you. This better be a DNS outage. They were like, yep, it's a DNS outage. I was like, then I'll go there. It sounds fun. It's fun. It sounds like you guys need help. I went there 2-3 years, build a lot of things. I spent a lot of time in Latin America. You probably know that. I like to crack the hard problems. So spent a lot of time building Microsoft networks specifically in Latin America. And fast forwarding Yahoo afterwards. I wanted to work in a startup, and Yahoo is well known to be the biggest startup of Silicon Valley. So I spent there about 3 years. And after that, just co-founded 2 companies. One is more an open source, Infrapedia, as putting together the global fiber layer 1 infrastructure of the internet, whether it's fiber, submarine, terrestrial fiber, aerial fiber, and just to give people an idea about how this infrastructure is diverse. And right after that, I found also a company that that takes my 99% of time, EdgeUno. So what we do with EdgeUno is basically companies who want to quickly expand, get computing in Latin America. It's Colombia, Brazil, Argentina, Chile, Peru, Ecuador, Paraguay, Bolivia. Basically, they don't need to ship any hardware. They don't need to do nothing, right? Just like Amazon,
right,
or any cloud service, they just sign up. They can get all the computing, all the memory they need, and start their services within hours instead of within days, within months of shipping. So that's what I do right now. That's a quick history of me.
Nice, Mehmet. And tell us a little bit more about EdgeUno. So this is like an edge computing company?
Yes. So it is actually 4 different companies merged into one. We have acquired small companies. Okay. First of all, we have acquired an ISP that was about 25 years old in Colombia. One of the first ISPs, actually largest dial-up ISP back in the day, called Teleport, and also called EdgeUno. So we changed the name to EdgeUno. Then we acquired a professional services company. After that, we acquired a remote hands company that has a lot of physical employees in so many areas in Latin America. And last but not least, we acquired a NOC, basically a company that provides 24/7 services for ISPs, 30 plus ISPs around the world. And they actually go ahead and one of the things they do is English, Spanish, and Portuguese. It's very hard to find such thing,
Yes, it is.
Based in Brazil and Colombia is a split. So we merged these companies, created EdgeUno. What EdgeUno's goal is just to make anybody that needs infrastructure, just make people's life easy. We are a wholesale company, right? We don't really have customers that, people don't really come to us to buy 1 virtual machine, 2 virtual machine. They come and tell us, okay, I need a terabyte memory per each city, and I need a 1 petabyte disk space with this much capacity. It's a complex thing. So of course we customize this. Or one of the things we also do, our team does, is New York to Sao Paulo has a submarine cable called CBRAS-1. Our team manages the IP network for CBRAS-1. We're very proud working with C1 team. Yeah, we do a lot of cool projects. Like the SpaceX is another one. I'm actively involved helping that team. Just try to find the right approach to build this Starlink project. Keeps me busy. That's
pretty interesting topic. Especially within the broadband industry. We will have to wait and see what happens with
Yes.
the Starlink constellation and the services that is going to bring to us. So that's pretty interesting. I think maybe we can touch base later and
Yeah.
see how that's going. So EdgeUno, where you guys where currently you have physical presence within Latin America?
So we are in Bogota, we are in Medellin, we are in Lima, Peru, um, Santiago, Chile, Buenos Aires. We have multiple locations in each city, multiple data centers. We are in all tier 3, tier 4 data centers. Also, we have Brazil, Sao Paulo, Rio, next week, Fortaleza and Porto Alegre. And, we are looking always for additional places. We have small footprints like in Ecuador, in Paraguay.
Okay.
I really don't count if I just have 2-3 rack units. I want to have at least 2 full racks, backbone and all that.
Right.
So, and Los Angeles, of course, Miami is, most people consider these, 2 cities part of Latin America. So I have to.
Right.
Strange enough, Turkey, Istanbul, Turkey. So one of the locations we actually have a service is Istanbul, Turkey, because we have an anchor customer. They couldn't find anybody to do service for them in Turkey. So we said, we will do it for you.
That's pretty interesting. Pretty interesting, bringing Turkey into the table. So,
yeah.
So I'm assuming that both Miami and LA are basically where you can cross connect with most of the customers that are based on the states.
Yes. Well, we have so our customer base is very unique. 99.999% of our traffic, are games, online games.
Really?
Famous games. Yeah. So what happens is that these gaming companies and normal operating times, like right now it's pandemic, so they use it 24/7. We barely can keep up with the demand.
Yeah.
But like normally when there's no release or anything, they have enough capacity over CDNs. But when there's a, like today,
right,
Call of Duty decides
a big update,
an update for 86 gigabyte. Like,
yeah,
what are you gonna do? Like, I have the capacity. And they come to me, okay, give us 200 gigabits per second for next 6 days. Okay, well, here's the money. Just pay and boom, you can start using. Computing, everything is just calculated into it. So most of our customers just use us that way, come uses us for 6 days. Our traffic spikes up, but that 6 day pays for, 6 weeks,
right,
6 months sometimes.
Interesting. And how, well, maybe this is a business question, but feel free if you don't want to answer it. But how do you deal with the cost of the transports to basically manage all this capacity? Do you have it like in the burst business scenario with your upstream providers, or you're just going fixed with that?
That's a good question. So one of the pros of the business that we have is, as Seabrass has a very unique capacity, and we work with them very closely. They give us really a lot of support in many areas, and one of the support is this area. We get a lot of capacity from them because they own the pair of fiber, which is like 4 terabits of capacity. We leverage that to enable different connectivities. We do exchanges or commercial deals, which is beneficial both ways. Or we basically just go ahead and, well, first of all, I must say the first company we acquired is a I don't want to call it tier 1, but has settlement-free peering agreements with major providers. So that's one of the things that we use a lot. So we peer, for example, in Colombia, it's nearly impossible to become a member there unless you're a telco. You need to be approved. We peer with everybody there, and same thing in Chile, Argentina. So what we do is our actually amount of the traffic that we deliver is cached, right? So it's once we, let's say, bring a 1 gigabit, that becomes 100 gigabit locally, because you have 100, 200, 500 machines asking for the same information. So you don't have to over and over transfer it, but we provide that local infrastructure without any need of shipping any infrastructure. Well, some customers of us, by the way, ship equipment because they want to use their own specific, security cards and all that. But if you don't want to, just like most of our customers, we just provide you everything. You're up and go next day.
Nice. And touching point of the edge computing, at least on my part of the industry, I do a lot of wireless telecom. There's a lot of talk of edge computing with 5G. Do you have any insights on that?
So the edge computing I am personally focusing on is very different than the edge computing people talk about in the United States. But
Okay.
most people are focused on edge computing as like the neighborhoods,
Right.
the cities, the small cities, far away. I am trying to do something really different. Okay, I looked at what I could do to leave my name and leave a good legacy and to like put a ding in this universe, just like Steve Jobs said many years ago. I look, Latin America was so behind in so many ways, right? Very high costs and a very captured market, a non-competition. People do everything to kill competition.
Right.
And I told myself the only thing I can do in this market is to improve the quality of internet. Like I can bring the content here, I can deal with shipping, handling, and just make it so simple for people to be there, without dealing with. So the best way to handle them, by the way, customs shipping and handling, that you don't have to do it. You buy everything local.
Right.
So that way you don't have to ever deal with it. But so hardware agnosticity is what we focused on, and kind of like it doesn't matter what hardware you're on. I'm giving you CPU, memory, and this, edge computing is very similar, but that my edge is a city with 15 million people, not really a city with 100,000 neighborhood.
Right.
So from that end, my edge is somewhere between, I call it hybrid edge sometimes.
Okay.
It's like big edge, right? And edge computing, when you talk about with 5G, it's maybe in worst case a rack unit,
Exactly.
a rack unit worth of machines, small machines stacked in a cell tower, right? Of course, look, I have nothing. I'm just not an expert. I don't know much about it. But my edge computing is where you have 20, 40 racks of servers, like a mini Amazon,
Right. Yeah.
just
Mini
available in Lima, right? When is Amazon going to open a data center in Lima? They just opened one in Chile, so I understand. But like, when is Amazon or Google open one? Not Amazon, but those guys are all gonna open data centers. When are they gonna open data centers in every city I'm already in? Probably by the time I retire. So that's good.
Mini AWSs all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, you've been to Bogota. You visited me
Yes.
several months ago.
Almost a year now.
Almost a year. Yeah. Well, you can see what the potential was in that city, right?
Yes.
It's incredible potential. One of the things that I'm trying to get into, should I need to find some partners, experienced partners, fiber to home, because that's the new big thing.
Fiber to the home.
Yeah, people don't want ADSL. They don't want cable anymore. They want to get a fiber with a gigabit connectivity. It's going all around Latin America, and Chile is really advanced. Like, Chile is probably 3-4 years ahead of the rest of the Latin market. That's one of the reasons I think actually Google, build a fiber there, and Google deployed a data center there, because they're just so ahead. Even though they're a smaller market, the complete the country is so big, but the complete population is as just big as like Sao Paulo state.
Right.
Yet there's a lot of opportunities there.
Yeah, I think fiber to the home is a big market, but it has its challenges. Especially in those markets that the monthly rate that the customer able to pay is limited. So I will give you my point of view is that hybrid solution for gigabit connectivity is a good way to go at it. Mixing fiber and 5G or any other wireless technology. I don't know. I know that you don't love the fixed wireless.
No, I actually love it. No,
you prefer fiber.
You should check out. Yesterday, I interviewed Windsurf, as you know. Yes. One of the things he mentioned is like he's a big fan of this last mile technology, laser technology, wireless technology. Look, anything that makes the 50% of the population around the world that is not connected to the internet today, any technology, is fine with me. And I'm not saying I'm not a fan or anything like that. For me, I would like to find a way to solve the problem for critical masses. This is one of the reasons I'm really interested in doing some work for SpaceX, which I believe SpaceX or low orbit satellites is going to be very disruptive. They're going to provide an option for a lot of people where, I'm not saying tomorrow, but like whenever they're adopted, tested, and implemented, a good alternative. And I think that's going to create competition between the fiber industry. Then maybe we are going to see more fiber. all these companies in the United States that don't want to install fiber, like in my home, I cannot get two providers. Why? I
Really?
can only get one provider fiber and one provider cable. Maybe when SpaceX or a wireless provider comes in here, maybe I'm going to have more options,
Right.
or better service.
Yeah, I think the LEO satellite constellation systems are gonna be uh, a big thing in the industry. They're gonna be able to provide services in hard to reach areas, but also be a competitive force especially in the U.S., where you see a lot of dual polies. Just the cable company and the local incumbent company offering
Is that how
service.
it is in Puerto Rico too? I think it is, right?
Well, yes, but here in Puerto Rico, obviously, yeah, we have the local cable company and the local ILEC, but there's a lot of competition in the wireless side because a lot of people are not too happy with the current providers. It's a little bit different than the states. I believe maybe the local population is a little bit more open to try the fixed wireless technology than maybe in other places. Yeah, but it's pretty cool. So you mentioned earlier the IX, the Puerto Rico IX, and uh, we kind of co-founded, or I don't know how to say it, or refounded, or something like that. This is. Can you tell us a bit more about that project? I know that the IX was founded a lot of years ago and kind of died, and you've been trying to revive it for almost more than 10 years, I believe.
In my life, I've had a lot of projects that I've started. One way or another, I went back and completed them because I have this OCD that I feel bad if I started something and I didn't. Puerto Rico Internet Exchange, okay,
Yep.
or as Dr. Moreno called it, pricks.
Yeah.
Rest in peace. Is my baby, right? It's what got me in the front of so many people. It's what got me into my job at ICANN as well, because that's what I would travel around outside of Puerto Rico to the conference to talk about,
Right.
like how I'm going to change Puerto Rican internet ecosystem by connecting people locally. Today is 2020. We are still talking about it, but thanks to you, thanks to Jeff, thanks to Ivan, thanks to many others, thanks to Facebook, we are not just talking about it. Actually, we are doing it right now. We are exchanging 5+ gigabits of traffic. I mean, I would just say this. Maybe this is too extreme and too emotional, but
Okay.
I would probably, if I died before I see this much traffic, my mind would be left there. But I'm so happy. I mean, come on. Let's just say a special thank you to Jeff for this, right? I mean,
Yes,
this guy, this dude is like by single hand and like drove this, and I'm just happy, man. I'm just happy that people are feeling a better experience of internet. Maybe it's helping them to connect with some loved ones. Maybe it's helping them to do some other stuff. It doesn't matter for me, I don't care if they're just doing it for whatever reasons. For me, what I care is local traffic is staying local, and that's really motivating. And by the way, I have some good news there for Puerto Rico Internet Exchange.
Okay.
We should like cut this section and make like
A big announcement.
I have some big brands, big logos
Okay,
coming to
yeah.
Puerto Rico Internet
Oh,
Exchange. So very
nice.
soon we are going to have to upgrade our units.
That's good. That's good to know. That's good to know. Good stuff coming in. That's amazing news. Yeah, I'm pretty happy to have that be part of that project, and I tip off my hat to
You
Jeff
too.
and
I
to you.
mean, you kind of
Yeah.
did your thing. Good stuff.
No, everybody pulled some strings and did their thing. So it's not my thing. You obviously were spearheading it for a lot of time, and Jeff kind of put some hands and put some boots on the ground. So yeah, I appreciate
It
all
is
your
so funny,
your support.
I know a lot of people that could have helped. Just like, of course, you have interests, right? It's so funny. Like you as you are an ISP, it's beneficial for you. I mean, it's
Right.
free,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
You have a vested interest. There are a lot of communities. There's Internet Society. There's this entity, this university, the current .pr management. Just a joke. Very disappointing to see. To this date, they didn't say, "Oh my God, you guys achieved this." It's not like a project now. Like, how can we support even Puerto Rican government?
Yeah.
I know they have their own problems, but I would have actually expect, because we share this, right? As you know, we're public about it. Like, we're not saying, "Oh, we are hiding an internet exchange." No, we are doing it. It is public. There's a website, PuertoRicoIX.net. I would have just expect, some people to be excited about it instead of just be quiet about it. I don't know.
Well,
That really bothers me. So
well, hopefully, we will engage with more members in the future, have more people
yeah,
connected, and the word will go out and expand. And then the people that need to take notice will take notice and just join the effort.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I believe in this. I believe in this, and not just San Juan, but I believe that internet exchange in Mayaguez, in Ponce, maybe some future cable projects, it will help Puerto Rico to be
Hmm.
more sustainable in
Right.
case of a hurricane, in case of any natural disaster. I think this is needed and it's going to happen.
Definitely, definitely, and count with me with that for that.
Yes, absolutely.
I wanted to ask you, for the longest time, you being an employee and you were working with other companies, big name companies, Microsoft, Yahoo, Ackin, which is a big organization. How did you jump into entrepreneurship? What made you jump into it? Because it's very different from working with Microsoft and then jumping ship and being an entrepreneur.
It's not actually because,
You
when
think
you
so?
I'm not going to joke and say, when you work at Microsoft, you hate working so much that you become an entrepreneur. I'm not going to joke like that. But the reality is that, when you are inside a machine like this, like, Microsoft, Yahoo, they're machines, you just see the top, right? You're like, okay, well, this is the Fortune 1. I'm working for Fortune number 1
Yeah.
company, or I'm working for one of the biggest startups, biggest best communities. That they call Yahoo the school of Silicon Valley. So like
Hmm.
a lot of company people go there right after college and then go to big companies, bigger companies. I mean, you kind of get yourself filled up. Like you're like, okay, so I have two options. I can work for somebody and just get a salary and I'm okay. I can live
Hmm.
my life and continue my education. By the
Right.
way, one of the reasons actually I made this big shift because I told myself I always wanted to go to a really respectable school, an Ivy League school. I don't think just every school has to be Ivy League for respect,
Right.
but I just wanted to go through that education, especially in New York. For me, the heart of the world, is
Yeah.
in New York. I told myself I want to study. I left my job to study. I
Okay.
saved enough money to pay the school and just live without working. And I said, you know what? I don't want to work. But when I get in the Columbia University's MBA program, uh, one of the things that made me realize that the program was about how you become an entrepreneur. So I picked up the Infopedia project and I said, okay, I'm going to do this, and of course, fail again. Some other things. Kapani, I
Hmm.
started a company uh, named Kapani Networks that was basically consulting services.
Okay.
I work with 20 telecoms and try to help them all the way from Turk Telecom to Saudi to this and that. So just to help them optimize and
Right.
how they can be more efficient in their
Hmm.
operations. But I just told myself I need to live some legacy.
Okay.
I want to. That's why I told myself I have 10 patents, right? You probably don't know this.
Oh, I didn't know.
I'm an engineer, right? I'm still an engineer, chief engineering officer, not chief executive officer. So I'm an engineer. I created a lot of products in the past, patented them, many of them in Microsoft. Well, all of them are Microsoft actually. And you kind of feel like, okay, so what do I want to do next? Okay, I want to have enough money that by the time my kids are at school, I can travel the world.
Yeah.
That was my goal, right? I said, okay, I need to make this many millions every year. Who's going to pay me that much salary? Nobody.
Yeah.
I got to
Exactly.
earn that myself. But at the same time, there is nothing more satisfactory than paying, running a payroll, making feel like you are contributing a group, hundreds of people. I have more about 100 people in my team in terms
Okay.
of not my employees only, but the people that beneficiaries and things
Right.
like that.
Contractors and stuff like that.
Like from the time you visited until now, we grew we grew
Yeah.
a little bit, but it's just a good feeling. It's a good
Yeah.
feeling. It. You're an entrepreneur too.
Yes. Yes. I am. I am. And I can concur with you. It's a great feeling to be able to provide for the employees and obviously their families. But it's also a big worry. It's a lot of stress and a lot of sleepless nights that
We have
sometimes
good
you have to.
friends. We have good friends. You, me, several others. We always talk each other, not just about the business, right? Just we
Yeah.
talk about other issues. We talk about, not just Puerto Rico internet exchange, right?
Mhm.
You and I talk about, hey, why don't we launch this cloud product in Miami? Why don't we launch this in Puerto Rico? Hey, this is really like booming. I'm pretty sure you didn't know this much detail about the product that, like, I mean, literally right now we are serving in just one location 300 gigs on this product. It's crazy,
Nice. It is crazy.
but so I think having good friends really helps in this
That's right.
industry.
That's
Having good
correct.
relationships, someone that you can call and ask for an opinion, I think it really helps.
It is. It is. It is. With that much time that you have spending on your business, do you have any time left for any hobbies?
I actually love refereeing soccer, so that's
Oh,
my
really?
biggest hobby. So yes, so I'm actually a national, one category down from the highest you can be in the United
Really?
States, state
Wow.
referee. I was a national candidate, but I decided, it's with all the work and international travel, you
Yes.
can't do it. But that's kind of what I like, watching soccer, playing, games with my son, with my daughter. I used to love traveling, man. I don't know, with this COVID-19, the world
Yes.
changed so much, but like I would actually travel 2 weeks of a month for business, for
Mhm.
work. But I actually realized I enjoyed it. But now I must say something. I enjoy being home. I enjoy seeing my kids, grow day by day, not by bi-weekly, phases.
Exactly.
So my newest hobby is the YouTube channel I told you about, and then I'm enjoying it. I'm also attending several programs such as yours, and just trying to connect with people, maybe past my experience, but also by watching others and learning. Oh, how do you do this? How like how do you communicate better? How do you let people know about what you've been through, so maybe they listen and they don't go through the same thing, and they maybe say thank you one day in the silence.
Super. Super. Mehmet, it's been a great time to have you here. Been an awesome conversation. I really appreciate your time. I would like to close with a question for you. And what that question will be, what will be your advice to anyone that wants to start a business or has a business right now and wants to grow, improve their business?
You will fail. If you don't fail, you're not trying hard. And when you fail, you should sit down, grab your favorite drink minus ice green tea, and then you should just say, thank God I failed and I'm still alive. I'm young, I can still do this, I can get up and run again. And I think that people shouldn't be afraid of failing. People shouldn't be afraid of trying. People
Yep.
shouldn't be afraid of failing. People should have really good friends around them, family, friends. When you fall, that is when you need them. Okay,
Mm.
the true friends. So my advice is keep your friends close to you. Don't be afraid to try. And when you fail, just say, heck yeah, I failed. Now I'm never going to do this mistake again.
Awesome. Mehmet, thank you very much for your time. Thank you for your friendship. I hope to see you soon,
Take
either here in
care.
Puerto Rico
Take care.
or any place in the Latin America.
Vamos,
Yes.
Boricua. Vamos.
Thank you. Muchas
Muchas
gracias.
gracias. Muchas gracias por todo. Gracias.
This has been Gigabits and Gigahertz, vlog about telecom and industry, everything else. And hope to have you have enjoyed this conversation, and see you next time. Have a great afternoon. Bye bye.